Hello, Team COGIC family. Welcome to Markup Monday, the COGIC edition. So glad to have my Team COGIC family on, ready to discuss our reading for Sunday, October 24th. Our lesson title is Tradition and Love. I know that I'm 1 minute early, and I see that you're in. Hello. And some of y'all hung in here with me for both lessons on both sides. So I see that Teresa's on. I know you were on both. And I saw, who did I see? Hey, Brother Christopher, you're on for both. So thank you. I love y'all for loving me and really pushing and hanging in here. I appreciate you so much. No, Sister Emily, I just finished the ISSL, so you can hop off of here and go catch the replay. The ISSL is always at 7 o'clock. Then I get like a 5-minute break in between, and I hop over here for the Team COGIC lesson. So if you're looking for the international lesson study, just finished, but the replay is up and you can grab it there. Team COGIC, please remember to click the thumbs up like button as you're coming in, and like and share these videos. I've been pretty transparent with this kind of break in our lesson that we got to build up this community over here for the Team COGIC lessons, because there were almost 200 people in the other space. I got 36 on Team COGIC, but y'all know I treat one like it's 100, but I would like us to work on sharing the love with others. So share it into your church Facebook pages, your private pages, your group meets, wherever you share your lesson information. Sister Joyce, good evening from Texarkana, Texas. Did you know my family was from that area? My people are over on the Arkansas side of the state line, but that's where my family is, in Hope and Texarkana. That's where my mama's from. So I get to your area pretty often. Let's go ahead. It's 7:46 and let's get started. We're going to talk about tradition and love. My name is Waynell Henson. You are inside of That Sunday School Girls Markup Monday. We come here every Monday evening. I do the international lesson at 7 o'clock p.m. And then I come back on here for the second lesson with my Team COGIC family at 7:45 Central Time every week, same time. If I'm traveling, I'll let you know, because there's only one of me and I do my own lesson reviews. I have one person who helps right now on second Sundays, and that's my brother, Brother Kristen. And he was like really nice the last time. I think he did both lessons, but other than that, it's me doing it all. So when I'm traveling, that's the only time that I'm not on here, but otherwise, you're here with me on Monday nights. I've shared with you the free template. It came by email. I shared this with the other group. I think you know that serving two different groups of people has literally doubled my work. And I am not full-time ministry, so I am trying to manage all of this inside of my regular life and my regular work and what I do. And so the email that came out, I think one of the links was wrong in the email. If that ever happens, charge it to my head and not my heart. I'm actually training a new virtual admin, and she's just in week 1.5 with us. So she's learning. And if there is an issue in the link, just go to the website, because that's where the link was going to take you anyway. And it's on the website. When you see those emails come out, that means it's on the website. So if there's an error in the email, don't judge us. Just go to thatsundayschoolgirl.com. As a matter of fact, the Markup Monday template is there. And the Zoom into Sunday School PowerPoint is already there. So if you're using Zoom still, or maybe you're a teacher who is going to carry over those skills that we learned in the pandemic with making sure that we integrate technology, the PowerPoint is already there for tradition and love. Our Bible basis tonight is Song of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 8 through chapter 5, verse 1a. Let's pray and then we'll read. Father, thank you for tonight. Thank you for allowing us to gather once again for the reading of your word. Thank you that your word is life to us, and we learn so much in your word, and we learn the love that you have for us through your word, and we learn just what we need to navigate life. Thank you that your word is so varied and gives us so many ways to engage and to open us up to new ideas, new experiences, and also to experience your love, that we might be better better individuals and better reflections of you in the earth. I pray that you'll bless us in our time together, that you will allow us to become curious about your word in a way that makes us not want to just read on the surface, but literally dig in so that we get every bit of goodness that you've designed for us. Bless every person who's present now, and even those who will catch the replay. We love you. We give you glory. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, we're going to Song of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 8. You know what? Let me get my commentary. I might read a little better with my commentary. How about that? The screen and I are not getting along tonight. All right, here we go. Come with me from Lebanon, my spouse. With me from Lebanon. Look from the top of Amana, from the top of Shanir and Hermon, from the lion's den, from the mountains of leopards. Thou hast ravished my heart, my sister, my spouse. Thou hast ravished my heart with one of thine eyes, with the one chain of thy neck. How fair is thy love, my sister, my spouse. How much better is thy love than wine, and the smell of thine ointments than all spices. Thy lips, O my spouse, drop as the honeycomb. Honey and milk are under thine tongue, and the smell of thy garments is like the smell of Lebanon. A garden enclosed is my sister, my spouse. A spring shut up, a fountain sealed. Thy plants are an orchard of pomegranates, with pleasant fruits, camphire and spikenard and saffron, calamus and cinnamon, with all trees of frankincense, myrrh and aloes, with all the chief spices. A fountain of gardens, a well of living waters, and streams from Lebanon. Awake, O north wind, and come. Thou south wind, blow upon my garden, and the spices thereof may flow out. Let my beloved come into his garden and eat his pleasant fruits. I am come into my garden, my sister, my spouse. And this is, which is verse 1a. This is the reading that's verse 1a. This is our reading for this week from Song of Solomon. And the way Markup Monday works, if this is your first time here, please let us know in the comments so that we can all love on you. But this is not the presentation of the lesson. This is not the teaching of the lesson. You're on Markup Monday. So this is our first reading as a group. And all you're doing is looking at what does this lesson make you think about? What does it remind you of? How does it make you feel? What does it make you want to know? And you're going to recap those in your free template, and you'll be able to use your template as your personal study guide for this week. And then we'll come back together on Friday at 12:45 p.m. Central Standard Time around the lunch table, and we will actually discuss this lesson. But for tonight, what does it make you feel, think, look, remind you of, or make you curious about? Let's look at anything in the background. What do you want to know about Song of Solomon from the background, or just from a background perspective? What do you want to know? Thank you, Sister Pat Perry. Who is the author? Who is his audience? I want to know who he is talking to. And this wasn't anything that I was curious about in the background, but after I read it, it was kind of like what I reflected on. And so I stuck it in my background just as kind of I just saw it. That when I was reading this, it wasn't that it made me curious, but I was like, I know that the writer is a male, and I just said men aren't always quite this expressive. So it's someone who writes very well, someone who uses his words well, and that just made me curious about the type of person who can use language in this way. Let's see. The Mind of Aaron says it's important to know who wrote the book and who is the intended audience. Absolutely. So we're all saying the same thing. Hey, LB, glad you made it. Thank you for your awesome comment on the video this week. I really appreciate your feedback and your heart on the lesson. Why? All right, Sister Marcy. Sister Marcy wants us to get into it. All right. Y'all, listen, I told one of my friends, I don't even know what this Markup Monday is about to be. I don't even know what your Sunday school classes are going to be like this week, because depending on how deep the people want to go, this right here, woo, your boy Solomon, he wrote a whole lot. So I'm going to try to keep it way up here. Depending on where your classes are and what groups you serve, this week could get very colorful. And I'm going to leave it right There. All right. What is this book about? What is the entire book of Song of Solomon about? Who is he pursuing, Minister Roy, with this letter? Let me see. I wrote it this way, Minister Roy. He's doing his good talking, and this is a wooing letter. I really wrote the word wooing in my Markup Monday. This is a wooing letter. All right, verses 8 and 9. Let's read, and we're going to read in small chunks, remember, and you'll tell me what you think, Sister Glenda. I'm laughing at you because you felt the same way. Yeah, Sister Erica. Oh, Sister Erica, I need to write you back. I talked to my best friend today, and she was like, yes, I remember all those people and the pound cake maker. I actually knew the pound cake maker too. All right, let me stay focused. Yes, Sister Jeanette, it's going to be colorful. This is about relationships, Sister Joyce. Absolutely, it sure is. Come with me from Lebanon, my spouse. With me from Lebanon. Look from the top of Amana, from the top of Shinir and Hermon, from the lion's dens, and from the mountains of the leopards. Thou hast ravished my heart, my sister, my spouse. Thou hast ravished my heart with one of thine eyes, with the chain of thy neck. All right, let's slow down. Let's talk about it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Is he talking about his fiance? Sister Marcy wants to know. Let's see here. Let's see. He was smooth with all those wives, Sister Tanya. He was smooth with it. Come closer. There's danger at the top of the mountain. He wants to protect her. I like that, Sister Ernestine. I like that. All right. So who's speaking? Who's he speaking to? Oh, he's speaking to his spouse. He identifies that very clearly in verse 8. But which spouse is he speaking to? I don't know. But honey, whoever she is, I'm sure she was like, okay. I told you I didn't know where this Markup Monday was going. All right. I'm sorry. I'm laughing at myself looking at my own Markup Monday documents. I almost don't want to read the stuff that I wrote. I would really just rather read your comments. But if you want to know what I wrote, somebody say, we want to know. Tell me in the comments if you want to know. All right. Let's see here. Who's talking? Why all these places, Sister Geraldine? Absolutely. Presidential beats. Deliver us, Lord. All right. I wrote it this way. Y'all pray for me. Because Sister Kiana said, we want to know. I restated it this way, Sister Kiana. Let's go, girl. Let's leave all this behind. That's just how it made me feel. Come on, girl. We got to go. I want to take you somewhere. Let me show you something. Let's go away from here. All right. What is he talking about? Is he talking about a honeymoon, Sister Marcy? I love what y'all are saying. So I literally wrote that on here. Let's go, girl. Let's leave this all behind. I wanted to know what are the importance of the places that are mentioned here. The 3 places that I see are Amana, Shinir, and Hermon. But I said, wherever they are, he's like, they not as good as where I want to take you. Let's leave it all behind. I also see on here the imagery of lions' dens and a place where leopards live, a high place. And I just said it sounds dangerous. So in some way, wherever this girl is, she keeps company with lions and leopards. And I know that that's not literal, but that's what the imagery suggests. And those feel like dangerous animals to me. But whatever it is, whatever kind of place it is, hey, girl, come on. I'm going to take you somewhere else. That's what I see. The spouse is mentioned 6 times in this lesson, Sister Ernestine. Absolutely. Ha! Minister Roy, look at here. He has that very white voice on paper. See, I shouldn't say I wasn't going to. I was really working hard to refrain from making references to these other psalmists in, other sheet that I have, which are not of this fold kind of psalmist. Yes, because I got one coming up. And just because you provoked me, I think I'm going to go ahead and say it. But it's later on. All right, because this is how it made me feel. All right, let's see here. Verse 9, that you've ravished my heart. So somebody mentioned, let me go back first. You've ravished my heart. I just said, girl, you've done something to me. You did something. Woo. Girl, you done made my heart skip a beat. You did something. You captured my heart. How did she capture his heart? If the man is sitting here telling you, again, y'all, I just, the men in my family, and I come from a family of very, very generations of strong men, but they wasn't writing poetry like this brother right here. He said, you've done something to my heart, girl. What did she do? That's what I want to know. If she did this to you, that you want to take her away, well, what did she do? Well, she captured him, one, with her eyes, and she captured him with the necklace, the chain on her neck. But I paused on those eyes for a second. Let me see if If y'all thought what I thought about this eye situation, he must be in love, Sister Darlene. I agree with you. Yeah, this is a love letter, Elder Booker. But he got, listen. Brothers writing letters. I kind of thought about this too. We need some Solomon classes for these brothers to learn how to write some letters like this, because I'm telling you, this a getter right here. Let a brother send me a letter like this. I want to know. All right. I just wrote wooing. You just wrote that down? Ha! I love it. All right. She is beguiling, Dr. Perry Adams says. They're enjoying a mountaintop experience, Sister Walker says. The eyes, the neck, the body. And so these are visual things that have captured him. And I'm not going to teach this lesson tonight. YWCC, you can teach a whole lot on this when we talk about that visual appeal. Lots you can talk about in here. This is why I'm gonna go on and say it. The way we look matters. It does. I know poor Monique she took a hard knock for telling the young ladies, don't wear these bonnets in public, because the girls didn't want you to say, don't tell us not to wear our bonnets in public. You're trying to control Black women. No. Sister Monique was just trying to tell you that it might be Solomon who's looking to see you in Walmart. You don't want him to see you with your bonnet on. You want your eyes. Now, here's what I really said. Let me stay on track. Here's what I really said about the eyes. I said that that just kind of made me think of our masks right now. And we use this term now, smizing, and how even a mask right now may not stop that good brother from seeing, because it's something about your eyes. You might be able to do something with your eyes. So ladies, smize with these masks on, because there's something about your eyes. That's how it made me feel. Listen, this is my markup Monday. I don't know what's on your paper. This is mine over here. I was like, who chose this lesson? Who did this? Because they knew I was going to cut up. All right. I also noticed somebody mentioned that he calls her his spouse 6 times in here, and he does. But on my Markup Monday document, I just said I laughed a little bit because he refers to her as my sister, my spouse. And like women today, like sis is a bad term, or my sister, if you are referring to someone that you love or are dating. And again, this is not a Bible study, so I'm not trying to teach you what he's saying. This is how it made me feel, because I legit have had single sister friends who have been introduced to somebody. Oh, this is my friend, or this is my sister. If you love us, tidbit, don't introduce us as sis when you come out. But anyway, let me stay focused. That's what he called her, my sister, my spouse. But it did make me laugh. It made me laugh. All right. Let me go to verses 10 and 11. Let me see. Yeah, this is why I have so many wives, Sister Williams, because I knew what to say. Romance is over the top, Dr. Perry Adams. Absolutely. Yeah, Sister Erica. Sister Erica, and I'm telling you, I'm like on my pretty much my best behavior right now. I am. How fair is thy love, my sister, my spouse? There's that my sister situation again. How much better is thy love than wine, and the smell of thine ointments than all spices? Thy lips, O my spouse, drop as the honeycomb. Honey and milk are under thy tongue, and the smell of your garments is like the smell of Lebanon. Okay. All right. He loves her with the purity of a sister and the passion of a spouse. That's beautiful, Sister Dotson. Tell these brothers today, don't call us sis. I'm just playing. All right. Your love, verse 10. How fair is thy love? I just restated that to say like your love is special. He in some way seems to value that and holds that in a special place in his heart. That's how it made me feel. The word better is here. And when I saw the word better, it seemed to me that he was drawing a comparison. And the comparison that he lists is better than wine. Said to me, it must be a person, he must be a person who either, I'm going to say he likes wine. He has experienced wine. He's decided that he likes it. And he's saying, I like wine, but this right here is better than that. So lots of things that we can talk about better than. If you have whatever your favorite thing is, it's better than that. So for this man, wine is his thing. So whatever your thing is, he's explaining that the love that he feels is better. It's not even to be compared with that. I also noted that for me, when I see wine in scripture, I also look at not just the taste of wine, but even the value of wine. So to me, he's just kind of expressing like that love and even that I value you more than that. And yes, he loves everything about her, Sister Ernestine. Thank you for opening the door for me because I wrote this in my Markup Monday document. I wrote down the words lips, hips, and fingertips because that's what it reminded me of because he just starts going down this list. He starts going down this list. He shows so much passion in the language that he uses, Sister Barnes. Absolutely. Let me see, Elder Booker. Not a one-sided trust in verse 10. Solomon is a lip man. Elder Booker said it. I didn't. I'm just reading the comments right now. Yes, he is. He is a lip man. Minister Roy says her love is making me drunker than the best wine. Absolutely. And Minister Roy, I told you were gonna make me say it. When I was reading verse what is this? It was like verse 11. Yeah, it was verse 11. See, I haven't always been saved. And so there was a psalmist when I was like in elementary school, and the way he wrote his particular words were, I like the way you comb your hair. I like the stylish clothes you wear. It's just the little things you do that show how much you really care. That's what this reminded me of as he goes down through this. I like the way you smell. And teaching moment that it's not just looks, but this is when I say a sensual lesson, there's not just sensual in terms of the love factor, but even the sensory portions of it. I guess I'll say it that way, that the way that he connects love is more than just like an ooey gooey feeling. There's that part. We feel that, but now it's also a visual appeal. There is a smell appeal. And so all of that is being laid out. And yes, Elder Booker, he's a lip man. Let me see what y'all saying, because I know I did it. Sister was a common expression of romantic affection in the ancient Near East. Absolutely. I see some of y'all laughing because you're in the same age group with me and you knew what it was. You sure did. All right. So he likes her lips. This was interesting for me. Milk and honey are under your tongue. And I just said, I want to hope that means that even the words that she says are beautiful. I want to hope that this is like the hearing piece. But really what I wrote down is that the milk and honey always reminds me of like the promised land, and that milk and honey would flow in the promised land. And I always equate that to meaning good things. And so when he says for me that milk and honey are under your tongue, I literally sub the word good things, but that's how I got there. The land that flows with milk and honey was a land of good things. And so I say good things are under your tongue, or good things come out of your mouth. That's how it made me feel. I got all week to study. Sister Danette, look at here. Sister Danette, look. Sister Danette now. Yeah, that's who the psalmist was. Milk and honey were luxury items in ancient times. Sister Tab, can we compare it to today? Sister Pat Perry, I'm laughing at you. Sister Shaniqua, oh Lord. Yep, third grade. It was about third grade. Sister Shaniqua, absolutely. Same here. He even says in verse 11, he likes the smell of her clothes. Boy, you done got close enough to smell her clothes, or is her perfume that pungent? Hey, got to get the good stuff. That's why you don't be buying that dollar store perfume, ladies. Get the good stuff. Make sure you're always smelling right. Listen, this is a YWCC lesson. It really is. Get it together. Verses 12 through 14. A garden enclosed is my sister, my spouse. A spring shut up, a fountain sealed. Thy plants are an orchard of pomegranates with pleasant fruits. Campfire with spikenard and saffron, calamus and cinnamon, with all the trees of frankincense, myrrh and aloes, with all of the chief spices. All right, so Sister Glenda, I'm with you, but see, you can't get me kicked out tonight. Now, if you come to my Sunday school class, I might get kicked out in person, but not tonight. Not tonight. I don't know. I might even have to have a Zoom to talk about this. I don't know what I might do with this lesson. Y'all just stay tuned. I don't know. All right. Yes, Sister Shaniqua, I see the milk and honey there. Minister Roy, y'all, I'm trying hard not to preach myself, but Solomon could have been with anyone he wanted. But I want you, girl. You. I've identified you. Come here. I want to take you from all this. Come on here and go with me, girl. You. Because I like how you look and I like how you smell. In this garden, a garden. He describes her. So there's a lot of imagery here, right? And like, let me just pause for a second and be serious when I say that I think, like, I'm a person who enjoys words. And so I always think like the writing of Solomon is so masterful because a whole lot of us want to go to a lot of places when we're reading this because that's where he is. But the way that he talks about it really tells me about like that's a brilliant mind to me that can write so poetically where you just don't have to be vulgar about everything. And so I kind of even think that like there's a lesson in here to be had with learning to use our words in a way that is beautifully descriptive, that communicates all that you want to say without the need to be vulgar. So this is kind of how this has made me feel because it's a whole lot in here, but I want to stop and acknowledge the beauty that I feel in reading this as well. Yes. So Elder Booker says, beautiful as a flower grove in verse 12, and her fruit is scripture based. Solomon sees the God in her. Oh, Elder Booker, I will respect that. Yes, sir. He does see the God in her, and I think he sees her too. I think it's a whole lot. I'm not gonna do it. Yes, Sister Connerson, I want to talk about that for a minute. What is a garden enclosed? So the garden was one thing that I looked at, but then enclosed, he uses the words enclosed, shut up, and sealed. And for a woman enclosed, shut up, and sealed, like I just want to look at what all that means, right? Because if it's a single woman, enclosed, shut up, and sealed may imply one thing, right? But if it is another context, it can be another. So this, everybody do your own studying in here. But I also said that enclosed, shut up, and sealed, as I read this, it's almost like he's trying to describe, I want to set up this situation where I have you all to myself. So that's kind of how it made me feel. And I literally wrote that I have you all to myself. These three things he describes: a garden, a spring, and a fountain. A beautiful garden. I just redefined a spring as kind of this continual supply, but you know what? I know that there's another reading of the spring. Don't take me there. I get that. But you enjoy that in your class. Y'all work that out with that spring. And then a fountain. I didn't redefine the fountain, but those are the three things that I see: the garden, the spring, and the fountain. Let me see what else you're saying. Yes, he uses his words wisely, Sister Pat Perry. Sister Michelle, not just a sensual love, but a well-rounded love, physical appearance, a physical appreciative for who she is, what she does, her intuitive, she makes the shine come out in him. I love that. Absolutely. And what is like so clear, like when I even go back to, was it verse verse 10, like the specialness of who she is and this kind of love, that how fair is your love. That's why I went there, like this is special to him. And I guess as I'm thinking about a man who has 700 wives, like who is this girl? Not just what he's saying about her, but ma'am, who's that lady? I know that was a song too, a psalmist wrote about that, but like, who is that lady that commands? What kind of woman is commanding this kind of attention and can get this kind of expression, right? Okay, so I just said in verses 12 through 14 that you produce pleasant fruit, and Elder Booker has already called out the fruit. I want to look up all of the flowers and all of the spices that have been mentioned here. So in my mind, I went to the Arboretum recently here. So when I was reading this, like I was just thinking of like of the beauty of all the flowers. And I get it. I know he's doing some other stuff, but in my mind, let me stay in the garden for a second. Let me be in this garden over here. And because of the variations of everything that he mentions in here, I just had this kind of picture of beauty, but I'm also curious about like what's interesting with each one of these things. Because a man talking like this, who has called out the pomegranates and the campfire and the spice, like he didn't put those in there for no reason. So I want to know what the reason is. All right. I think Solomon also sees her as a cook with whatever season she needs. Oh, okay, Elder Booker. I respect that. I do respect that. Closed, shut up, and sealed. I'm reading back up for some of the stuff that I missed. It's like putting a hedge around her, Sister Glenda says. Okay, the enclosed part, got you. Sealed, we are sealed in Jesus. I see you, Sister Marcy. We can stay together and no one can interrupt our time together. Absolutely. Minister Roy, you're a musician. I know you. I know your musical works. All right, what else did I say? Okay, so I used the words beautiful and fragrant, and then in all caps, because this was my Markup Monday document, I wrote, talk about her, Solomon. Do your good talking. I wrote that in all caps with exclamation marks because this is my document. Verses 15 and 16. A fountain of gardens, a well of living waters, and streams from Lebanon. Awake, O north wind, and come, thou south wind. Blow upon my garden, that the spices thereof may flow out. Let my beloved come in his garden and eat his pleasant fruits. So I in here noticed that the speaker seems to change. So up until this point, he's been talking to her. Hey girl, I'm talking to you. You, the cute one, you smell good. And you got pretty eyes too. So at this point, I noticed that the speaker seems to change. I'm waiting for whatever y'all want to add because y'all sitting here waiting on me on verses 15 and 16. You tried it though. All right. I see the garden fountain here again, a well of living waters and streams. I wrote each of those down because those are called out as three different things. And a call to action is present, a call to the north wind and the south wind. Whenever I see directions, I want to know, what is it about the north wind? What is it about the south wind that causes this ever so poetic man to, or woman to respond to these poetic words? What was I saying here? There's a note here about the fragrance of the garden and response of the beloved, the spouse, the sister, not literally the sister, but the sister, my spouse, as she's been called. Her response is, come on in and enjoy the garden. That's kind of an acceptance to me. Okay, come on in. All the beauty that you wanted to experience. Yes. As I read that out loud, let me also, how do I want to say this? So let me think about this. I want to say this in the nicest way. In our culture, with so much, like I'm very sensitive. I've been to training in recent years on rape culture. So when I see things like this, I want to acknowledge the ability of the woman to give permission. As beautiful as Solomon sees this woman to be, and as much as he desires her, and he's laid out all that he wants to do, I just acknowledge in here that it is her acceptance of his advance that allows him to take advantage of the garden. And that stands out for me in a space where women are not always respected in that way. So that was my kind of serious, but it really made me feel that way as I read it. So it is her invitation in. This is a consensual moment between them. And I believe in a woman's right to consent. And I think that there is a beauty in this moment of consent. That's all I have to say about verses 15 and 16. What you got to say? I'm looking. What you saying? Solomon feels he will be satisfied in more than one way with her. Yes, he does. Dr. Perry Adams, absolutely. My garden changes to his garden. And yes, Sister Connor said, and inside of that consent is clearly her willingness to share her garden in that way, where she is now letting him know it's yours. Yeah, I'll leave it right there. Don't forget your responsibilities conform to God's law. Sister Ernestine says Solomon sees her as equally yoked. Elder Booker, Sister Glenda, he's not in a hurry, but takes his time to love her, even though he could get anyone that he wants. Absolutely. Whenever you need it, whatever you need is at the table. Sister Marcy says we need a Joseph and a Solomon in our lives. Don't tell my husband, Sister Denise Powell. I love what you said. I love it. I love it. So yeah, she's essentially saying, come on in. Come on in. I'm just reading here. And she's basically telling him, it's yours. All right. I'm moving from that. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Chapter 5, verse 1a. I am coming to, I think my notes went too far. I am coming to my garden, my sister, my spouse. Hold on, this is a cut and paste from, where does this actually start? I'm coming to my garden, my sister, my spouse. That's actually where it stops in the printed text. I realize I have the whole verse in here. So now the speaker shifts again and he responds to her. He extends an invitation. She accepts his invitation and in a sense invites him. And actually 1A stops with his acceptance of her invitation. In other words, we have a deal. If this was a contract, if this was the law, there was an offer, there's some consideration, there is acceptance, we have an agreement. That's where I'm gonna stop right here. I hope y'all have so much fun studying this lesson this week. Hope you have a good time and dig all the meat off the bone. And then come back to the aims of this lesson. I know this lesson is gonna take some of you way down the rabbit hole. But remember, that our aims of this lesson is that we would discuss the beauty and wonder of love in a committed relationship. Oh, yes. Reflect on our attitudes about love and commitment and explain how to build a relationship that honors God, that honors a marriage commitment, So as flavorful as this lesson may be, those are our aims. So just make sure that we can get back to those spaces. But have a great time studying this week. I love you all so much. I'll be back on Friday at the lunch table, 12:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we're going to talk about my time with the lesson. All right. Love you all so much. Let me see if you're saying anything. I think young women should be taught about self-worth and demand respect from those who are pursuing them. I love that, Sister Barnes. I'm just looking. Heaven and earth is in harmony with our union together. The south wind and the north wind blow on the fragrant flowers. The north wind blows the air of the fresh waters and the fresh streams. I'm just reading these comments that were here. Oh, all right. I think that's it. Love y'all so much. Good night, everybody. I'm going to slip into a training online, a virtual training in St. Louis with a Sunday school group there. So I love you so much. Y'all have a good night. Bye.